Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Cooper and welcome back to SIS Film Breakdowns. The next player we're going to highlight is TCU cornerback Jeff Gladney. Gladney collected 42 pass breakups and 5 interceptions during his 4 seasons with the Horned Frogs, leading him to be named a second-team All-Big 12 performer in 2018 and a first-team player in 2019. The Vikings selected him with one of their first-round picks at number 31 overall in this past draft. At the Combine, Gladney measured in at 5 feet 10 1/4 inches, 191 pounds. He performed well in most drills, which included posting a 4.48 40-yard dash, 37.5-inch vertical, and 17 reps on the bench press. We're going to take a look at some of his plays from last season's games against Purdue, Texas, and Baylor. This first play comes from the Purdue game. He's lined up at the top of the screen about 5 yards off to the left of the offense, and just after the snap he recognizes the bubble coming from number 2 and points it out immediately. He quickly breaks on the pass and lays a hard hit to the receiver to separate him from the ball. This play shows good read and reactability with good burst to close on the ball to break up the pass. The next play is from the Texas game. Gladney is lined up now at the bottom of the screen to the right side of the offensive formation, and he's in zone coverage playing the flat. At the snap, he backpedals a few steps, but as the number 1 curls, he immediately flips his hips to get eyes on the quarterback. He shows good awareness and eye discipline here to see the quarterback and also the number 2 running in the corner in behind him. Gladney is quick to fall off number 1, drop back underneath the corner route, jump up, and get a hand on the ball to tip it away. Now back to the Purdue game. He's lined up to the right side of the offense in the short slot with no receiver lined up out wide. Now this first look is going to be at real speed. At the snap, the offense runs a flea flicker, and after getting sucked up initially, Gladney quickly gets depth and drops into coverage. With no receivers running routes on his side, he gets his eyes to the other side of the field, and with number 3 crossing the field in his direction, Gladney does a good job seeing him and undercutting the route for the interception here. Whenever we slow things down and look at the other angle, we see Gladney drop, and then as he sees the crosser, he looks back to find the ball and then makes the catch for the interception and turnover for his defense. Gladney was impressive the last 2 seasons for TCU. When combining 2018 and 2019 stats, he only allowed a 35% completion rate and 59% deserved catch rate on 124 targets while also grabbing 3 interceptions. Now let's go back to the Texas game. Gladney is back to the top of the screen and TCU is in zone coverage, but with Colin Johnson the only receiver to his side, Gladney takes him one-on-one. Now as we start the play, Johnson runs a deep drag across the field and Gladney sticks with him step for step the whole way. As Ellinger throws the ball, Gladney is in position to easily knock the pass away for an incompletion here. Sticking with the Texas game once more, Gladney is again at the top of the screen. It's zone coverage overall, and with no other threats to his side but Johnson again, Gladney takes him one-on-one. Now at the snap, Johnson takes off to run a fade. Gladney is again step for step running with him, and as the ball approaches, turns back to find the ball and knock it away. And as we look at the other view, we get a really good look here of Gladney turning his head to look for the ball, track it, and bat it away at the point of the catch. This next play is from the Baylor game. He's now down at the bottom of the screen in man coverage. At the snap of the ball, he's quick to backpedal and then turn and run with the receiver. The quarterback puts the ball on the back shoulder, and even though the receiver gives a little push off, Gladney is still able to put his foot in the ground and break on the ball to knock it away. Now on the tight view, we can see Gladney as he rakes through the hands of the receiver to break up the pass here. Overall, Gladney put up some solid numbers in 2019, but his 2018 was even better. He only allowed 4.7 yards per target on 69 targets with 2 interceptions and a mere 28% positive play rate. He also posted 41 tackles, only missing 2 attempts, which resulted in a broken tackle rate of just 5%. For reference on his 70 total points, Amik Robertson led all handbook cornerbacks with 56 total points in 2019. Let's take a look back now at the Purdue game. Gladney is lined up at the bottom of the screen. Now we've seen him make some good plays on the ball downfield, but there are some times where he's in position and just doesn't look back for the ball. As we run this play, Gladney does a good job sticking with the comeback here, but as the quarterback escapes the pocket, Gladney takes his eyes off of his man to look down into the backfield and loses him. He shows good closing speed to catch back up here, but doesn't look back for the ball and gets called for the penalty. Now granted, it being a slightly underthrown ball, it's tough for Gladney to know that and as he's catching back up, but nonetheless he was in position if he could have gotten his head around. Now let's go back to the Baylor game for the final 2 plays. These will highlight his football IQ. It's the second quarter and Baylor is going to run the terror concept here, with number 1 going vertical, number 2 running the deep out, and number 3 running the flat. Now Gladney is lined up in the slot where he only lined up 12% of the time this last season, covering the number 2 in the deep out. Now at the snap, Gladney begins his backpedal and makes sure to keep distance so he's not beaten deep, as the number 2 here is Denzel Mibs. Gladney is so deep that once Mibs breaks on the out, he really has no chance to get to the ball and make a play here, even with a good transition. On the other angle, we can see Gladney break quickly, but still late to catch up as Mibs makes the catch on the sideline. Now let's take a look at the same exact route concept from the fourth quarter of this game. Same setup with the same situation. Gladney is again in the slot covering number 2 and the deep out route. Now as we run the play, Gladney recognizes the route concept and is ready to break on the out as soon as Mibs does. He quickly transitions and is in position to knock the ball away this time. Now on the tight copy, we see Gladney waiting in good position and then breaking at the perfect time to close on the ball and break up the pass. Now from the second quarter to the fourth quarter, Gladney shows good football IQ and smarts to recognize the route combination and make a play here. Though he can make plays all over the field, there are times he doesn't play the ball down the field when he's in position, like we saw a few plays ago. These plays usually lead to big chunks of yardage for the offense. When singling out vertical routes against Gladney last season, he gave up receptions on 11 of 15 catchable throws for 235 yards and a couple of scores. The 7 pass breakups show he has the ability to play the ball down the field. He just needs to become more consistent, turning and looking for the ball when in position. 3 of Minnesota's corners from last season are now in new uniforms. Trey Wayne signed a huge contract with Cincinnati, Mackenzie Alexander also inked a 1-year deal with the Bengals, and Xavier Rhodes signed a 1-year deal with the Colts. Along with Mike Hughes and Chris Boyd, Gladney should slot in as an immediate contributor. While they could use some help in man coverage, they didn't play it nearly as much as they did zone. The Vikings played the 5th most snaps in zone coverage last year, posting the 8th best QBR against. Again, much of that was with 3 corners who are now playing in different cities. In steps Gladney, who can help in both coverage schemes. In 2019, Gladney allowed just a 29% positive play percentage in each man and zone coverage. Look for Gladney to fit in nicely and be a disruptive defender that makes plays in Minnesota's zone-heavy scheme. Gladney needs to improve some in the run game as a tackler and his overall awareness and ball skills down the field, but his smooth hips, quick transition, and solid closing speed should allow for him to become a core piece in the secondary for Minnesota's defense. Make sure to go get the SIS Football Rookie Handbook or register for a free trial on the SIS DataHub to see all of these stats and more for every player, and also tune in each week to the Off the Charts podcast. Thanks for watching SIS Film Breakdowns.